Let's get to the latest developments in the fighting in Ukraine on day 12 of Russia's invasion. Moscow this morning agreeing to open humanitarian corridors to allow residents from several key cities that have been at the center of the ongoing fighting to flee. However, reports from the ground say that shelling and rocket fire continue in those areas at this point. NBC's Molly Hunter joins us right now from Lviv in the western part of Ukraine. And Molly, on the surface, it sounded like a pretty good offer until we started hearing the details, which make you think they didn't take it seriously at all.
Yeah, Becky, that's exactly right. So we woke up this morning to an announcement of essentially a unilateral ceasefire. The Russian Ministry of Defense announced that they would provide humanitarian corridors. The problem for the Ukrainians is those corridors led directly to Russia and Belarus. No Ukrainian civilian is going to want to go to enemy territory right now. And a couple hours later, we did hear a response from the Ukrainian government. The vice prime minister said, no way, this is unacceptable. Our people are not going to go. So apparently at this hour, the Ukrainians have now countered that offer, as you say, whether or not it was serious. It doesn't appear to be so. The Ukrainians have countered that offer with proposed humanitarian corridors to the west of the country, where I am. We focused heavily on Mariupol. It's a city on the Black Sea in the southeast of the country. It has been pounded by Russian bombardment for the last week. 450,000 people there. The Red Cross says they're trying to get out about 200,000. Citizens there, though, living without heat, without water, without electricity. It is completely unlivable. So the two ceasefires that we saw for just a couple of hours, a glimmer of hope this weekend on both Saturday and Sunday morning, were in Mariupol but fell down, were shattered almost immediately because of Russian shelling. Now, the ICRC is on the ground. We are talking to them. They are the neutral body that is trying to facilitate, trying to broker the ceasefire between the two parties. And they say, really, the agreements over the weekends were not set in stone. They didn't agree exactly where civilians could depart from. They didn't have a very specific humanitarian corridor that was agreed on. They also didn't necessarily agree all the details about what could come in, what kind of humanitarian aid could go into those cities. So we are still waiting to hear from the Russians, from the ICRC, from the Ukrainians, whether the Russians have accepted their new proposals. We also are expecting, Becky and Joe, some peace talks later today. We've just learned at 4 p.m. between the Russians and the Ukrainians. And apparently the delegations of the previous two rounds are going to stay the same. I'll send it back to you.